I stand on the scales and hate myself. Ashamed, I step off and quickly shove them under the bed in case my husband sees. Over half my body is fat. I'm morbidly obese. I haven't always been big. When we met in 1980, I was barely 7.5 stone, petite and sexy, confident in my firm young body. He could barely keep his hands off me then. Now when I look in the mirror, I see a stranger, a fat, ugly stranger. Stretch marks from 2.5 pregnancies and years of blooming weight mar the once perfect skin. Breasts sag, stomach bulges, hips and thighs erupt with fat. My double chin has a double chin. I can pinpoint the exact moment when I lost control of my body. It was 1991, my annulus horribilis. You don't have to be royalty to have a crap year. I lost my best friend to cancer, had a miscarriage, and was made redundant the day after her funeral. To cheer me up, my mother-in-law bought me the biggest bar of chocolate known to man. I ate it all, and I haven't stopped eating. Life did get better. A year later, I gave birth to a beautiful daughter. I've had some fantastic jobs, which have been just as fulfilling and interesting than the one I would have lost. I still miss my friend, but have others who are loving and caring and fantastic fun. But I can't stop eating. It was a trigger, you see. The chocolate was a comfort to me when I was suffering from multiple traumas. Without a job, mourning my lost friend and my child, I sat at home and I ate. By the time I gave birth, I'd put on almost 6 stone. What none of us had realised was that my annulus horribilis had awoken a deepened trauma from my childhood. My father had killed my mother and then himself when I was 10 years old. The scandal meant that nobody would talk about my parents or what had happened. I had to bury it deep inside me in order to cope, and now it came bubbling back to the surface in confusing and distressing ways. It was another 4 years before I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. In the meantime, food had become my refuge, my comfort, my friend. During the months of therapy, I put on more weight. The memories being exposed for the first time were painful, frightening, and far stronger than I thought possible. After each session, I would go off and buy cakes, chocolate, sandwiches, and wine. I would eat all the food on the way home, and the wine was a soothing anaesthetic which allowed me to sleep dreamlessly. My therapist assured me that I would lose the excess weight, that I was a strong woman who had successfully kept PTSD. My therapist assured me that I would lose the excess weight, that I was a strong woman who had successfully kept PTSD at bay for almost 30 years, so a few years' worth of overeating would be easy to deal with. He pointed out that I'd chosen the healthiest addiction. Others chose drugs or alcohol, and then he discharged me. I kept on eating. I sometimes wish that I had chosen drugs or alcohol, because then I would get help to stop. I had to learn to deal with my addiction on my own. I went to my doctor for help. He told me that I needed a bit of willpower. I told him that willpower has kept me sane for decades, so don't tell me that I need a bit of willpower. He was a bit more sympathetic after that, but he couldn't help. I joined swim clubs, bought books on changing your life, tried numerous diets, spent a fortune on hypnotherapy, but nothing stops me eating. I joined a gym, completed a 5,000-metre swim-a-thon, trekked along the Great Wall of China and in Jesus' footsteps across the Holy Land. I am the fittest fatty you'll ever meet. But the fat remains. Even after 18 years of fighting this demon, I am still surprised when I look in the mirror. I see a stranger. In my mind, I'm still that petite, sexy young woman. The hideous creature that stares back at me from the mirror. The hideous creature that stares back at me from the mirror frightens me and saddens me. My daughter's a teenager now. She's slim and beautiful, and I am so proud of her, but I'm also deeply envious of her. I wonder, with a sense of despair, whether I will ever be content in this flawed and damaged body that has become both my refuge and my prison.